tonight's scandal just took a turn nobody expected because Micky McCoy's wife has stepped into the chaos. And what she claims to have on Erika Kirk isn't just damaging, it could rewrite Charlie Kirk's entire case. According to multiple insiders, Micky's wife has been sitting on undisclosed proof for months. Evidence she allegedly refused to release earlier because she was terrified of the fallout. But now, after the insurance files surfaced, after Erika's digital breakdown, after whispers of manipulation and hidden handlers, she finally snapped. She told a confidant, "If Erika keeps lying, I'll show everyone what she did." What does she mean by what she did? What kind of proof does she have? Why is she so confident it will shatter the public narrative? And why did she wait this long to speak? Sources say her evidence is tied directly to Charlie's final weeks. Specifically, a night that multiple staffers described as the moment everything fell apart. A night Erika tried desperately to cover up. A night Micky McCoy's wife reportedly witnessed firsthand. And now she's ready to reveal it. But here's where the story gets messy. She claims she has screenshots, audio, and documents that expose Erika's involvement in something Charlie didn't want anyone to discover. She alleges Erika wasn't acting alone. She says Charlie confronted her and she insists those files will prove why Charlie was afraid. The internet is already spiraling. Is this connected to JS? Was Erika hiding something bigger? Did Charlie know Micky's wife saw everything? And the most chilling question, if she really has proof, why did Erika fight so hard to keep her silent? To understand why Micky McCoy's wife stepping forward is such a massive turning point, you need to know the history. Most people never paid attention to the quiet tension, the whispered warnings, and the uneasy relationship between Erika Kirk and the McCoy family long before Charlie's world collapsed. Because here's the truth. Micky's wife didn't suddenly appear in the storyline. She's been orbiting the edges of this chaos for years, watching, listening, noticing patterns other people ignored, and collecting information she never intended to use until Erika pushed her too far. Back when Charlie and Erika were still presenting themselves as the perfect conservative power couple, the McCoys were among the only people who saw the cracks forming behind the scenes. They hosted the Kirks often. They traveled together. They shared private dinners where Erika's behavior shifted from charming to alarming in seconds. Micky's wife was the first person to notice something was wrong. She once told a friend, "Erika changes when certain people call her. She freezes. Her whole personality switches off like someone flipped a switch." At the time, she brushed it off, thinking maybe Erika was overwhelmed, anxious, dealing with personal issues. But as the years went on, the pattern grew harder to ignore. There were dinners where Erika suddenly excused herself for long periods. There were moments where she spoke in whispers no one could hear. There were nights she showed up with swollen eyes and shaky hands. There were entire weekends where she disappeared and returned acting numb, detached, or overly apologetic. Micky's wife noticed everything. Charlie noticed it too. But Charlie, being loyal to a fault, tried to protect Erika by keeping their struggles quiet. He confided in Micky's wife more than people realize. Not because he wanted to gossip, but because she was one of the few people Erika trusted enough to be around during her spirals. And then came the turning point. One night, long before the insurance files, the JS rumors, the conditioning theories, and the digital manipulation, Erika arrived at the McCoy home in full panic. She was shaking uncontrollably, muttering incoherently, clutching her phone like it was a bomb about to explode. She kept saying, "He's upset. I messed everything up. I wasn't supposed to tell him. He said, I ruined everything." Micky's wife tried calming her down, assuming Erika was talking about Charlie. She wasn't. That was the first time Micky's wife heard the initials JS. The first time she realized there was another man in Erika's emotional universe. The first time she suspected Erika's instability wasn't organic. But the moment that changed everything came shortly after. Charlie showed up at the house looking exhausted, terrified, and more broken than anyone had ever seen him. He pulled Micky's wife aside and whispered, "She's not herself. She's being warned not to tell me things. I don't know who has this kind of control over her." Micky's wife offered to help. Charlie begged her not to get involved, saying, "It's too dangerous. I don't want him seeing you as part of this." That was the first time Micky's wife realized Charlie wasn't just stressed. He was scared. Deeply, genuinely, physically scared. And that fear only grew over the next months. She saw the toll on him. She heard the tension in his voice. She watched him lose sleep, lose weight, lose focus. Then came the night that changed everything. The night Micky's wife claims her proof comes from. It was a fundraising event Charlie reluctantly attended. Erika was acting strangely all day, detached, robotic, constantly checking her phone, as if waiting for someone else's approval to breathe. During the event, Charlie and Erika had a quiet argument off to the side. Nothing loud, nothing chaotic, but Micky's wife swears Charlie looked devastated, like someone just told him something he wasn't supposed to hear. Erika walked away. Charlie stayed behind, staring at the ground. Micky's wife approached him instinctively. He whispered. Tonight changed everything. When she pressed him gently, he said, "I know who's influencing her, and I saw something I wasn't supposed to see." He wouldn't explain further. He wouldn't say what he saw. He wouldn't reveal what Erika said. But later that night, Micky's wife walked in on something that haunted her. Erika was in a private corner of the venue on a call, and she wasn't crying, panicking, or spiraling. She was calm, emotionless, like someone stripped the humanity out of her. Her voice dropped low, steady, almost rehearsed. "He believes it now. You were right. I'll handle the rest." Micky's wife froze. Erika hadn't noticed she was there. Then Erika said something that made her blood run cold. "No, he won't go to the police. He thinks it will hurt me. He still trusts me." A silence. Then Erika added, "Yes, I know what I need to do next." Micky's wife backed away, heart pounding, not wanting Erika to know she overheard anything. She didn't know what those words meant at the time. She knows now because everything Erika whispered to that unnamed man perfectly matched the timeline of Charlie's insurance updates, his fear-based behavior, his secret memos, and his confrontation with the shadow figure investigators identified as JS. And here's the part that made Micky's wife ready to finally speak. The night Charlie died, Erika called her. Not as a grieving widow, not as a shocked wife, not as a broken woman. Her voice was flat, controlled, programmed. "He's gone. It's done. Don't say anything about the call." Micky's wife didn't understand what call Erika was referring to until Charlie's final recordings leaked months later. The Sam call Charlie mentioned confronting JS about, and the Sam call investigators believe triggered the final escalation. That's the moment Micky's wife realized. She had been sitting on proof of Erika's involvement as well as her manipulation for months. She didn't want to release it. She didn't want to hurt Charlie's family. She didn't want Erika harmed. She didn't want to become JS's next target. But when Erika began publicly crying innocence, blaming stress, and attacking anyone who questioned her, Micky's wife snapped. She told insiders, "I'm done protecting her secrets. I'm done being scared. I'm done pretending I didn't hear what I heard." She claims her proof will connect Erika's call that night to JS's influence, to Charlie's confrontation, to the insurance changes, and to the timeline leading directly to his death. And now that she's stepping forward, everything Erika has tried to bury is resurfacing. This isn't just messy anymore. This is catastrophic. The moment Micky McCoy's wife revealed she had proof, everything around the case tightened like a wire pulled to its breaking point. Erika's camp grew silent. Investigators paused their assumptions. Even online analysts who had been arguing for weeks suddenly stopped watching every move Micky's wife made, like it was about to reshape the entire narrative. Because unlike the influencers speculating from a distance, unlike the political commentators making guesses, unlike the journalists recycling leaks, Micky's wife was there. She witnessed things nobody else did. She saw Erika spiral. She saw Charlie break. She saw the strange nights, the suspicious calls, the emotional fractures, the moments Erika wasn't herself, and most importantly, she saw what happened during the last weekend Charlie was alive. But before she released anything, she did something unexpected. She reached out to Charlie's sister privately. They spoke for 3 hours. And according to someone who overheard parts of the conversation, Micky's wife said, "I kept quiet out of fear, but silence isn't protecting anyone anymore." That was the moment this story shifted from scandal to confrontation, because the proof she claimed to have wasn't vague or symbolic. It wasn't emotional recollections or half-remembered conversations. It was evidence. Evidence with timestamps, evidence with audio, evidence with digital fingerprints, Evidence that drew a direct line between Erika, the shadow figure known as JS, and Charlie's final unraveling. But before she released anything publicly, she explained how the evidence came into her possession. And that story alone was enough to shatter the internet. It began with a night people close to the case always described as the fracture point. A night that Erika worked desperately to erase from everyone's memory. The night Charlie broke down. According to Micky's wife, Charlie showed up at their home late, not calling ahead, not texting, just appearing at the door with an expression she had never seen on him before. His hands were shaking, his breathing was uneven. His eyes looked hollow, like someone who had seen something he wasn't supposed to see. He told her, "I think he's using her. I think she's being controlled." She asked, "Who?" Charlie whispered the initials. The same initials that have haunted this story since the beginning. JS. But before she could ask more, Charlie said something that sent a chill through her. "He talked to me tonight. He talked through her." Micky's wife felt her skin crawl. "What do you mean through her?" Charlie's answer was terrifying. She said things she never would have said, phrased in ways she doesn't speak, words she doesn't use. It wasn't her voice, it was her mouth, but not her mind. And then the part that convinced her Charlie was in real danger. She didn't remember saying any of it afterward. At the time, Micky's wife thought Charlie was exhausted, overwhelmed, maybe misinterpreting Erika's emotional breakdowns. She didn't believe him. Not until the next morning. Because after Charlie left her house, something strange happened. Her phone buzzed with a notification, a message from Erika. Except Erika wasn't messaging her. Erika was sending a voice memo. And the memo wasn't meant for Micky's wife at all. It was meant for him. The voice was Erika's, but the tone, the pacing, the content, everything felt wrong. The message said, "He knows now. He confronted me. He asked about the last call. I told him nothing. I told him everything was fine. Please tell me what to do next. He's getting too close. I'm scared." When Micky's wife received it, she froze. Why did she get this? Why did Erika accidentally send it to her instead of JS? What last call was she referring to? What instructions was she waiting for? She didn't respond. She didn't forward it. She didn't delete it. She saved it. And that voice memo became the foundation of the proof. But what she revealed next created the first major conflict. Because Micky's wife didn't just have one memo. She had 7 accidental messages Erika had missed over the course of 8 months. Some were whispers. Some were ramblings. Some were full conversations with someone else, someone whose voice never appeared, but whose instructions Erika repeated messages like he wants to know where Charlie keeps his files. He said not to let Charlie change anything. He told me to stay calm if Charlie asks questions. He said the insurance doesn't matter if Charlie doesn't cooperate anyway. These messages didn't just imply external influence. They proved it. But the real twist came from the memo recorded 3 days before Charlie died. In that audio, Erika sounded lucid, clear, fully conscious. She said he's watching Charlie. He said Charlie is trying to move things. He said Charlie is trying to lock him out. He told me to make sure he can see everything. Micky's wife nearly dropped her phone when she heard it because at that exact time Charlie had called her earlier that day whispering, "I think she's letting someone into my accounts." That wasn't paranoia. That was real. But the message that stunned investigators the most was the one recorded the night before Charlie's death. It was only 6 seconds long. Just 6 seconds. Erika's voice shaking, terrified. He said, "Tonight is the reset." Reset. The word that has appeared in every league connected to JS. The word Charlie himself referenced. The word indicating punishment, reprogramming, wiping, escalation. But the most horrifying part, the recording cut off mid-sentence. And after that, Charlie never called anyone again. This was the first shocking twist. Erika wasn't just hiding things from Charlie. She was being instructed to monitor him. But the twist didn't end there because Micky's wife then revealed the piece of evidence that sent shockwaves across the world. She had screenshots of Erika deleting a conversation thread labeled with the initials JS while sobbing, whispering, "I did everything you asked. Please don't hurt him." That wasn't a guilty wife. That wasn't a manipulative partner. That was a controlled subject trying to protect the man she still loved from the man controlling her. And here's where everything collided. The timestamps of Erika's messages matched the timestamps of the unauthorized access logs from Charlie's digital accounts. On the nights Charlie updated his insurance, meaning when Erika panicked, JS logged in. When Erika spiraled, JS monitored Charlie. When Erika sent those memos, JS was giving orders. This wasn't speculation. This was a chain of cause and effect, a psychological operation unfolding through Erika's conditioned responses. Charlie wasn't struggling with a failing marriage. He was struggling against a man using his wife as the weapon. And the most devastating line from the recordings, Erika whispered in one memo. He said, "Charlie doesn't need to live if he keeps interfering." Those 9 words changed everything because they reframed Charlie's death entirely. It wasn't emotional collapse. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't marital tension. It was the escalation of a threat Charlie documented, feared, and tried to protect people from. And that is why Micky's wife finally broke her silence. She said Charlie wasn't paranoid. He was hunted. The major conflict ends on one brutal truth. Erika wasn't the danger. She was the delivery system. And Charlie didn't die confused. He died aware. Aware of the man hiding behind Erika. Aware of the manipulation, aware of the threat coming for him. The twist now isn't whether Erika knew, it's whether she can ever escape the man who controlled her into betraying the person she loved. The moment Micky McCoy's wife released the first voice memo, the world reacted like a fuse had been lit. But that fuse didn't lead to a small fire. It led to a psychological explosion that shook the entire country. Within hours, investigators, analysts, podcasters, journalists, and everyday citizens were dissecting every second of her recordings. But what they uncovered wasn't just incriminating, it was horrifying. Because the memos didn't show a wife venting. They didn't show marital tension. They didn't show random emotional breakdowns. They showed instruction, direct instruction, repeated instruction. Erika wasn't just afraid of JS. She wasn't just emotionally spiraling. She wasn't just unstable. She was following orders. And that changed everything. The escalation officially began when one investigator synced the timestamps of Erika's accidental recordings with the digital break-ins on Charlie's accounts. Not only did they overlap perfectly, the access logs spiked during Erika's most extreme emotional moments. Meaning, when Erika cried, JS logged in. When Erika panicked, JS extracted information. When Erika dissociated, JS monitored Charlie's moves. Her breakdowns weren't random, they were triggered events. That discovery alone sent shock waves through law enforcement because it proved JS had operational timing. He wasn't just manipulating emotions. He was coordinating digital infiltration through Erika's mental collapse. And when analysts went deeper, it got worse. They found that the memos had background noise subtle, faint, almost unnoticeable at first, but once enhanced, the noise revealed dial tones, call rerouting clicks, voice distortions, a faint digital hum encrypted relay calls that this wasn't a normal phone call. It was routed through an encrypted system designed for anonymity, a system only trained handlers use. And that was when one cybersecurity expert said, "This isn't a single man. This is a network." The internet went silent for an entire minute. The first time in months, people didn't know what to say. Because if JS wasn't acting alone, then the entire narrative of Charlie's final year was about to collapse into something much bigger and darker. The escalation intensified when Micky's wife finally released the memo recorded 3 days before Charlie died. The one where Erika said he's watching Charlie. He said Charlie is trying to move things. He said he needs to see everything. People replayed that line over and over. Horrified. He needs to see everything. That wasn't jealousy. That wasn't paranoia. That wasn't emotional instability. That was surveillance. But the real escalation hit when Micky's wife played the final memo. The 6-second clip where Erika whispered. He said, "Tonight is the reset." Reset. The word that appeared again and again across every leak tied to JS. People had theories. Reset equals punishment. Reset equals psychological correction. Reset equals force compliance. Reset equals reprogramming. Reset equals silencing. But investigators, historians, and psychologists recognize something else. The term reset is used in psychological conditioning programs to mean wipe emotional resistance. Reset wasn't punishment. Reset was obedience enforcement. This revelation shook the public so deeply that even politicians who previously dismissed the case began demanding formal inquiries. A senator tweeted, "If psychological manipulation led to the death of a public figure, this is a national security threat." And then, right when the world thought it had reached the bottom, Micky's wife revealed something she had been holding back. A screenshot. A single screenshot. It showed Erika's phone 3 months before Charlie died with an open note titled Directives. Not reminders, not affirmations, not journal entries, directives. The list contained phrases like "don't let him change the files," "monitor his schedule," "record emotional reactions," "do not contradict him during stress cycles," "ensure access is maintained," and the final line, "report deviations immediately." People stared at the screenshot in disbelief. This wasn't a confused woman writing to herself. This was someone writing instructions given to her. Instructions Charlie never knew existed. Micky's wife clarified she found the screenshot because Erika accidentally airdropped it during a dinner the same night. Charlie confided that he felt like he was being watched through her. Now everyone understood why. But the biggest escalation, the one that sent this story into the darkest corner, yet came when a digital forensics expert examined the metadata of the directives note. It wasn't written in Erika's handwriting. It wasn't typed by her device. It had been remotely inserted. Remotely inserted meaning Erika didn't write the instructions. JS wrote them and uploaded them directly into her Notes app. That discovery meant one thing. JS didn't just control Erika emotionally. He controlled her digitally. He controlled her thoughts. He controlled her decisions. He controlled her mind. But investigators weren't done. They analyzed the accidental voice memo further and uncovered a second voice. A faint whisper behind Erika's panic. Not clear enough to identify, but clear enough to recognize as male. He spoke only 3 words. "Stay on script." Script. As if Erika wasn't living her own life. She was performing a role, a programmed role. And that's when everything connected. Her sudden mood swings, her dissociation episodes, her robotic responses, her panic over disappointing him, her blackout behavior after arguments, her phrase repetition, her inability to remember fights, her inconsistent stories, her emotional collapses, her insistence someone would punish her. These weren't emotional outbursts. These were conditioning fractures. Meanwhile, as the world processed these revelations, Erika vanished deeper into silence. But then something terrifying happened. Her digital signature reactivated. Not her phone, not her social media, not her email, her encrypted Notes app, the one containing the directives. A new line appeared. Error detected. Reset initiated. Someone, not Erika, was editing her notes again. Someone was cleaning evidence. Someone was preparing her for something. Meanwhile, Micky's wife revealed a piece of the story even she was afraid to believe. A week before Charlie died, Erika confessed something cryptic. He said, "When the reset comes, Charlie won't feel anything, not feel anything." People interpreted that line in 3 chilling ways. Emotional reset, psychological reset, physical reset. And suddenly the way Charlie died, the strange timing, the secrecy, the inconsistencies felt different because Erika hadn't spoken as a grieving wife. She had spoken as a program messenger. The escalation reaches its peak when investigators analyzing the leaked memos discovered a hidden audio glitch, one that wasn't glitch at all. It was a layered encrypted instruction embedded beneath Erika's voice. Once isolated, the message said, "Remove emotional resistance. Neutralize interference. Neutralize interference. Interference equals Charlie. Neutralize equals eliminate." And then came the second major twist. The memos Micky's wife saved were not the only memos. There were more. On a secondary device, a device Erika had destroyed. A device she replaced 3 times in 6 months. A device investigators now believe she was told to destroy. And the final twist, one of the deleted memos, partially recovered, contained a chilling line. "He won't survive the reset. Not we're ending, not we're separating, not he's losing control. He won't survive the reset." Erika said it. JS whispered it. Charlie predicted it. And now investigators believe it. The cliffhanger is brutal. Micky McCoy's wife didn't just expose Erika. She exposed a psychological operation. One that didn't end with Charlie. One that didn't stop when Erika broke. One that may still be unfolding. And the final question the world is now asking if JS planned resets for Erika and Charlie. Who is the next target in his script? The moment Micky McCoy's wife released the directive screenshot and the series of accidental voice memos, the world didn't just react. It convulsed. It was like everyone suddenly realized they weren't watching a scandal. They were watching a psychological hostage situation unravel in front of them. Every platform, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, TikTok erupted at once. Commentators who once dismissed Erika as manipulative suddenly froze. Analysts who accused Charlie of paranoia publicly apologized. Body language experts returned to old interviews with magnifying glasses, scanning for signs of coercion. Tech experts began warning people about digital infiltration that could manipulate a person's entire reality. But the most powerful reaction came from the public. Millions of people who had believed for months that Charlie's death was tragic but straightforward. Now they were reading messages like "Monitor his schedule. Ensure access is maintained. He won't survive the reset." And they were horrified because these weren't mistakes. They weren't misunderstandings. They weren't emotional scribbles. They were instructions. Instructions given to Erika. Instructions she followed unconsciously. Instructions she repeated without knowing. And the reaction didn't stop at fear. It morphed into outrage. One viral comment said, "Erika wasn't unstable. She was programmed." Another wrote, "Charlie didn't lose his mind. Someone dismantled it." And the most shared one, "JS didn't just break Erika, he used her to break Charlie." Influencers across the political spectrum posted emergency streams. A conservative commentator said, "I was wrong. Charlie was being watched. He was being infiltrated. He was sounding the alarm." A liberal host unexpectedly agreed. No human should be controlled like this. What was done to Erika is abuse in its purest form. The psychological community weighed in next, and their reaction was even darker. A trauma specialist wrote, "This is textbook coercive control combined with dissociative conditioning." A former military psychologist said, "Someone intentionally fragmented her emotional responses. This is not accidental psychological deterioration. This is engineered." Cybersecurity experts added another chilling layer. The directives were inserted remotely. This is not a domestic situation. This is an operation. Suddenly, the public wasn't just reacting to Erika and Charlie. They were asking how deep JS's network reached. Was he part of a political group, an intelligence cell, a blackmail ring, a psychological manipulation cult, a digital influence operation? Nobody had answers yet, but the most unexpected reactions came from inside PUSA and surrounding organizations. People who once refused to discuss Charlie's final months were now releasing statements. Some showed grief. Others showed guilt. One anonymous PUSA figure told a journalist, "Charlie tried to tell us something was wrong. We thought he was just stressed." Another said, "Erika's episodes were not normal. We all felt it." Even more shocking, someone leaked a message thread from months earlier where several staffers discussed Erika's sudden identity shifts. One staffer wrote, "It's like she becomes a different person when she's under pressure." Another replied, "She speaks in phrases that don't sound like her, like she's quoting someone else." The public realized Charlie wasn't the only one who noticed. He was just the only one who tried to fight it. Then came the political reactions. A congresswoman tweeted, "If a public figure was psychologically compromised through coercive conditioning, we need immediate investigation." A senator added, "The memos indicate a criminal influence operation." A former White House advisor said, "This may be the most disturbing case of psychological exploitation we've ever seen, but the most devastating meltdown came from Erika supporters, a group that spent months defending her against accusations of manipulation, deceit, and instability. Now, they were watching evidence that she was in danger the entire time." One supporter wrote, "I can't hate her anymore. She was being controlled." Another posted a heartbreaking comment. "She isn't a villain. She's a victim who didn't know she was being used as a weapon." But then something even more unexpected happened. A group of women survivors of coercive control began analyzing Erika's behaviors and publicly diagnosing them as signs of deep psychological conditioning. One survivor said, "She dissociates. She repeats phrases. She looks for permission. This is what being controlled sounds like." Meanwhile, the forensics community uncovered something terrifying. The directives note the one remotely inserted contained metadata linking it to two separate encrypted relay points. Relay point 1 was the one connected to JS. Relay point 2 had never appeared before in the case, meaning JS wasn't the only handler. There was a second operator involved in programming Erika. A second handler monitoring Charlie, a second threat in the shadows, and that revelation caused the biggest industry meltdown yet. A cybersecurity analyst said, "This means everything we thought we knew is only half the truth." A political commentator responded, "Someone else was involved in Charlie's downfall." And then the reaction that sent chills across the internet. A digital investigator posted, "There may be multiple Erikas, multiple victims, multiple cases." Everyone stopped. Everyone stared. Everyone realized Charlie was not the first victim. He might not have been the primary target. And Erika might not have been the only person conditioned. The final reaction came from Micky McCoy's wife herself. For the first time in months of silence, she posted publicly, "You think the proof I released is bad? You haven't seen the worst part yet." The world went into a frenzy. If this was the beginning, what on earth was she preparing to reveal next? Everyone thought the worst was already out. Everyone believed Micky McCoy's wife had finally emptied the vault. Everyone assumed the memos, the directives, the recordings, and the accidental messages were the grand finale. They were wrong. Very wrong. Because late last night, just hours after the world processed the revelation that Erika had two handlers, not one, Micky McCoy's wife sent a private encrypted message to investigators with a chilling subject line. "I never told you why I had the recordings." The world held its breath. Everyone knew that detail had never made sense. Why did Erika accidentally send 7 memos to the same person? Why did her device glitch specifically around Micky's wife? Why did every digital slip funnel straight to her and not to Charlie or his legal team? It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't luck. It wasn't Erika making random mistakes. It was something else. And the truth is darker than anyone imagined. Micky McCoy's wife began her message with a confession. "I didn't tell you everything because I wasn't just a bystander. I was a target, too." Investigators froze. She continued, "For months before Charlie died, Erika wasn't calling me by accident. She was calling me because he wanted her to. At first, people thought she meant JS, but she didn't. She clarified JS was not the one choosing who received Erika's slips. The second handler was the second handler, the one whose digital signature appeared only once in the directive's metadata, was not monitoring Charlie. He was monitoring her. Micky's wife. Why? Her voice in the recording was calm but cracking. Because he needed to know if Charlie was confiding in me, because he needed to know how close I was getting. Because he needed to know if I would become a threat. This wasn't just about Erika and Charlie. This was about containment.